What do we always say?
Speed to lead.
We have big shoes to fill.
He actually didn't want to hire me. I heard.
We're all here for growth.
It doesn't really matter market-wise. It's going to be a grind no matter what.
But you still have that on Snapchat.
I do, yeah. Oh, no!
Oh,
All of us.
That's the stuff that I missed.
Yeah. And purple. Like, what is up with this revel?
Almost 11 years.
11?
The cutoff.
We have a cutoff. All of that in just 2 months?
Exactly.
I just went all in.
Give me a call because we could buy it for you.
Let's double the deals.
Every opportunity to get a deal done that's I love it. From wine country to cottage country, real estate is all about lifestyle. I'm Andrew Perrie, and welcome to That Fine Life. Welcome back to another episode of That Fine Life podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Perrie. This is the podcast where we interview sales agents, entrepreneurs, and we really get to know what it takes to live that fine life. We have a very special season 2 finale. We have We have the entire Fine Estates team members, excluding one, but we're going to make this the best season ender podcast we ever had. I think the last season ender, was Matt Leonetti, or was he the first kicker offer? Anyways, we have big shoes to fill.
Definitely.
And I'm not talking Doc Martens. Speaking of Doc Martens, I wanted to get the eldest, and I mean on the team, not in age, Crystal Simon.
I think I am.
You're not
yes, I keep
You're not
forgetting.
the eldest anymore.
No.
And not even the wisest anymore, I don't think.
I never was the wisest.
I think I leapfrogged you on that. But Crystal, as one of the OGs on the team, I would like to have this. We came up with the idea for this episode as I get strapped to the couch sometimes and I've got to watch 90 Day Fiancé. And I remember Jersey Shore. We used to have Jersey Day Thursdays where we'd watch Jersey Shore, and then at the end of the season, they'd all come together and they'd talk about the year. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that because half of this team is Italians, I think, right? So it's, they're coming right off the Jersey Shore. So anyways, Crystal,
Yeah.
As somebody who's seen the team from the very beginning, what do you think has been one of the largest changes, one of the largest initiatives, something that has stuck out to you since where we are now to where we started from?
Maybe your open-mindedness to us growing. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean you've been very open about sharing what we have. Our team's grown, almost doubled this year.
Well, and the reason why she says that is because when we first started, I didn't want what happened the first time around when I was 2 years old. And I started a team, and it didn't last very long, and it blew up. So I just said I wanted to bring Crystal on as an overflow. We weren't even really a team.
He actually didn't want to hire me. I heard. Okay, listen. I did. I heard this. It was between two people. And
No. It was between two people.
Yeah.
Continue.
It was between two people. I heard this from somebody. We won't mention any names. They're no longer on the team.
Fair enough.
And he was going to go with the other person. Could you guys imagine this team without me, though?
I certainly couldn't.
It was a good decision on your part.
Well,
I waited. I clearly remember because we were just getting ready to close the trailer up in Kawartha. And it was 2 weeks. And I said to Steve, I'm like, this guy has not called me back. I was getting ready to call you and tell you, forget it. I don't have time for this. I'll stay a solo agent. And then you called, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give him a chance.
So
3 years later.
Yeah. So at the time, all we were trying to do was we had so many leads, and I was getting inundated with have you seen that meme with all the hot dogs? It's kind of like what I felt like. And so we decided, so then we brought Crystal on as just literally somebody to handle that overflow. And then that's kind of how that went. So again, the biggest thing that I try to instill in everybody is that we're all here for growth. That's the idea. We want everybody to be a part of this and morph into something bigger. If you all want to stay here as realtors, that's fine. We'd love to have you for another 50 years. ideally, the idea for all of you is to step into bigger roles. That's what we want. Okay, so cool. Now, okay, we started with the oldest. Okay. Let's start with the newest. So, Dan.
Oh, no.
Dan, how long have you been on the team?
5 hours now.
How long have you been with Revel now? A couple 2 years?
A little over a year.
A little over a year now. Okay, cool. And what do you think is, I guess, the biggest thing in your short time as a realtor that you've noticed about the business that, may have been either a myth, maybe exaggerated, or something that, you came into the industry and you completely were just shocked about, or maybe it wasn't what you thought it was?
I was under the impression.
You can hold the mic up a little bit. That's okay.
My
It's
bad.
your 4
I was
hours.
under the
now.
impression that it wasn't going to be easy, but it was something that was necessary. I kind of got into that school flow and learning everything around 2020 when everyone was becoming a realtor.
Yep.
First thing I realized was it doesn't really matter market-wise. It's just going to be a grind no matter what. And that's kind of what I've adapted to it, and it just kind of keeps happening that way. And it's just a grind at the end of the day and just keep going no matter what's happening.
That's right. And you have interests in the commercial aspects of the industry. Why?
That's
Are
what
you
I
crazy?
did. Slightly. But I was a welder for 10 years, and I think it's just now, prospectively, I'm not the guy in the mud. I'm the guy standing not in the mud, facilitating the business side of it, which is a lot cleaner. That's for sure. But it's what I know.
Yeah. So you've been in the industry. You feel like you can help your clients navigate through that process as, somebody with a little more experience.
Hopefully.
Okay. I love it. Well, welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
So, so a little while ago, Vanessa decided to change our clapping in our team meetings to.
Because if we're holding a coffee, so you guys.
That lines
Have you
up.
ever heard of blinking to clap? And a lot of you guys may not know this. You were basically the first realtor on our podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that was just over a year ago because you were just starting in the industry.
Yeah, I was like 2 months into it.
And how has your first year been? Was it an eye opener? Was it? And you feel free to lift that
I'm
microphone up a
a little
little
more dead
bit.
inside. No,
Your hair has gotten darker. Yeah.
no, I just I feel like, well, especially because I've been on the team, I feel like I just have so much more knowledge. Like, looking back on like when I first started, yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
I know because I have this light blinding me.
So I don't know if you remember some of the conversations of the first episode.
I do, yeah.
Has anything changed? Have your DMs got any?
Yeah.
Have your DMs got any thinner?
We should have busted them out for this.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you hadn't even switched to like a realtor tag on your Instagram before you started getting.
No, I did. I
Did
did
you?
right away. I was actually planning on waiting to announce that I was in real estate. And then next thing you know, I'm like getting tagged by Andrew Perrie. And it's like, oh, Vanessa Dewar. And I'm like, oh, just kidding. We've announced. Yeah. Yeah. So I switched everything over right away. I was very sad to change at Under the CV to at Vanessa Dewar.
But you still have that on Snapchat.
I
Oh.
do, yeah. Oh, no!
Oh no! That was the last social media app that you were safe. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, but anyways, we appreciate you. Okay, Andrea, over the last 12 months, what do you think has been, one of the biggest changes that have led to the growth of the team?
Me getting a coach.
Yes, that's big.
I feel like I was able to help assist and grow the team by the knowledge.
You got a coach.
Yep.
And obviously, not even from. See, the interesting thing between the differences between our coaches is that for somebody that is in the sales side of things, is accountability is huge.
Yeah.
Of course, on the director side of things, it's also huge. But the coach that you're working with actually has the ability to provide you information that you've been able to implement.
100%. And she keeps me accountable too.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think, some of the implementations that you have provided for the team, what do you think that, one of the biggest ones that has stuck out?
Probably follow-up boss.
Yeah.
Get snaps for follow-up boss. It's more of a love-hate relationship, I feel like, but that system being in place, we have a workflow manager in there. accountability checks for the agents. Yeah.
And why is it important to have organization in the business on a team?
So things don't get lost or forgotten.
Right. I think the biggest mistake that most realtors make is that if they're not treating their business as a business, I mean, gosh, you go to Winners or Marshalls now, and they're like, what's your email? Why? Why do you want my email? I just want to buy this nice blouse and just like go home and wear it. Guys can wear blouses. It's 2023. It's 2023, guys. Come on. So anyways, they have a database. That database gets inputted into what we use as constant contact. What they use, I don't know.
Right.
But the idea behind it is so they can keep in touch.
Yeah.
And the biggest mistake that I think realtors don't make is that they don't leverage those types of systems.
100%.
So to you, implementing those is kind of what led to our growth, is what you're thinking. Good.
Probably not having the systems in place for the growth fast enough, and that would be on me.
Well, that's interesting. What do we always say?
Speed to lead.
My gosh. You want to say something, Charlie? Yeah, okay, let's go. All right. Charles. We just made that up today.
So yeah, I'm Charlie. I was on the team for a year ago, and now I'm back after a short hiatus. And one of the things that I've recognized since coming back is how organized we are top down now.
Yeah.
And how much it improves our efficacy at our level as agents so that we can be much more efficient in how we operate. The more efficient we can be, the more that we can do, right? So personally, I have witnessed just in a year the transition from where you were to where you are now and how much it's improved my abilities.
I love that. Now, I'm trying to understand, what do you think brought you back in terms of what did you notice maybe?
Two
Because
things.
you wouldn't have necessarily known about the organization from the outside in.
Yeah, two things. One, the people. It's like family. Built
Even
some
though you
really
weren't on
good-
our baseball team this year,
Yeah.
we still won.
And that's the stuff that I missed.
Right,
Is, the Fall Fun Fest, having everybody there, all that stuff that we did as a team. I really missed that stuff, not being part of the team. And obviously quickly becoming number one in the Niagara region. It's not difficult. If you're paying attention, you can see the difference between a team that has a trajectory going north versus agents and everybody else in this marketplace not doing that.
Right.
I'd rather be part of something that will help me be successful than just floundering on my own.
Yeah, I love that. And I always get asked, if I had to restart my career, what would I do? And I would join a top producing team, hands down. And I made so many mistakes that I don't regret, but I felt like I could have, I went through everything that has all been on the back of your mind at one point. Most agents, how do I stay within the industry but get a salary? How do I stay within the industry but provide a service that I can get paid for without actually selling real estate? And trust me, I did it. And, luckily, I had people in my corner that told me not to do it. And that kept me here. However, I just feel like had I joined a top producing team from the beginning, I might have had that support without having to deal with all of those. Because it was a rough few months where I wasn't getting any money. I bought a house and we were supposed to close on it. And, it's a very similar story, right? And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? So I tied my boots and I went and sold real estate. And, that's a testament for you to, come back to us and be willing to share that and tie up your own boots.
Well, and I think a lot of people see the memes and you see it out there. It's all over the place where you see stuff like, if you really want to be successful, right, be around successful people. But it's true. So when you be around people like Crystal, who is a leader in the industry now where we live, okay, how did you get there, right? If you want to be that person, if you want to emulate that, you have to be around it. You can't just guess.
I agree. Now, Claudia, so, what do you think, as somebody who's been on the team a year,
1 year.
as of like last week or the week
Yeah.
before.
October 10th.
October 10th. How long were you in the industry before that?
So I actually got licensed last year in like July, and I joined the team October.
Right.
My first day joining the Fine Estates team, you guys had me dressed up in a period purple outfit and running up and down the street. Yep. Exactly.
We all dressed up in like 18th century
Yep.
attire.
We had lanterns. We had everything.
Oh my
That
God.
was my first day on the team.
But what about your first 2 weeks on the team? You dressed up again, didn't you?
Did I?
Oh yeah.
What did I dress up as? Well, I was 15-year-old Andrew. I had the blonde wig. I had the T-shirt.
That was like 12-year-old
cake.
Andrew, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, this team dresses up a lot. Like they're really into this getup.
Cosplay.
Cosplay. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Here's a little bit of, real estate truth in that story. The woman in that photo, she was a girl at the time, she actually became my client 30 years later. See? Follow up.
Follow up.
Even if it takes 30 years. No, Victoria's been a good friend of mine my entire life, but that's, a really good testament for anybody who needs to follow up with their clients, so just follow up. But no, without discussing where you came from before us, what do you think was the attractant to you to come to the team? And then since it's been a year from then, was it what you expected? A little more? A little less? Don't say less, a little more.
Don't say less. Don't say less. So I was a solo agent for probably about a month and a half before because living in Niagara on the Lake, I'm like, gosh, this revel is everywhere. Like, what is up with this revel? And I was obviously following you on Instagram, so I knew you socially media-wise. And then
Socially media.
social media-wise, I felt like we were friends on social media. And then so when I called to sort of be like, I'll just sit down and have a talk about Revel to see if it's something that I want to join. And lo and behold, I sat down with you. But I remember the first time I actually ever talked to you, you were like promoting some kind of like a seminar that was in Toronto or something. Tickets were like $300 or something like that. And I remember I was like, I'll just see how much these tickets are. And I messaged you, and probably like 5 seconds later, you messaged me back, and I'm like, gosh, does this guy have anything to do? Like, why is he messaging me back? He doesn't even know me. Like,
Speed to
but no,
lead.
speed to lead. There you go, speed to lead. But the biggest thing, I think, like it actually, this completely changed my whole perspective of being on a team. I was on teams before, and this is a very different thing. I mean, I was on top producing teams, no doubt, before, but I wanted to add on to what your comment was before, was it's the support and the culture that really makes a difference, because you can have a top producing team but not have that support, that culture, those systems, and the friendships and the bonds that you have with everybody, and the fact that we do so many activities together. We do the softball, all those things outside of the actual job. It's like a whole different lifestyle, and that's what I ultimately wanted. So since I even joined, I noticed that we do more stuff together, and
Yeah, it's
we're
just
pretty
been kind
close.
of increasing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we could get your childhood baseball glove, out from the attic.
Grade 6. It's a little boy's mitt.
Still fits.
Still fits.
That's something to write home about.
Still good.
Well, we appreciate you being here, so thank you. I'm going to pick on Serena. I know. So, Serena, how long have you been in the business?
Real estate?
Yeah.
Almost 11 years.
11
Yeah.
years? Wow. So one thing that I've really learned to respect about you is that, for one, you're no bullshit kind of person.
Straight up.
I like that.
Yes.
And I've been to a couple presentations with you. I mean, a couple of them I might want to run away from, but, I respect you for that. No, I'm just joking. But what I really like is that your willingness to kind of get yourself into uncomfortable positions. Maybe they're not uncomfortable for you, but we just had to print you off 200 door knockers. And so what do you think what's your drive behind that? Is it because of like your previous experience where you've, with the brokerages you were with before, or?
What is my drive to go door knocking?
Yeah, like what? How the hell do you do that and want to do that? Why do you want to do that?
Because you got to hustle. The hustle's real. You want to make money and get your ass out there. Like, they're not coming to your door. You got to go to their door. You got to find them. So, yeah, door knock, call, cold call, whatever you do, you got to do it.
That's right. I love it. You must really love to provide amazing service to your clients, because some of the clients that you want to help desperately are for sale by owners. Why do you think that is?
Why do I want to help the for sale by owners?
Yeah.
Well, given the fact that half the for sale by owners out there are in dreamland, and if they want to sell, they kind of need a little bit of a reality check on where we're sitting. And even if they don't want to go with me, I'd rather direct them in the right direction that, hey, listen, like, you know, you may want this amount, but you're kind of sitting here. And if you do want to sell, you don't have to use me, no pressure, but I'm trying to help you out to get like a fair grounds of where you should be.
Yeah.
So,
and see, a lot of realtors are actually afraid of that because they feel that they don't look, a lot of realtors actually don't look at their job to be as serious as it actually is.
right.
How many people do we know that have made, you know, in the news, in our own client experience, people in the region? How do we know, how many people do we know that are losing their shirt because of a bad choice made by either them or a realtor, right? When you have that mindset of actually truly wanting to provide value from, you know, an advisor standpoint, like, I mean, if you knew somebody's health was deteriorating and you didn't say anything, it's kind of the same thing.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Financial health to me is just as important as mental or physical health.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Adriana, you're sitting right beside Serena, so why don't we move to you?
Hello.
So we've got a battle here going on.
A battle?
Yes, between
Okay.
you and Maria.
Okay.
Because I didn't know this. I just found this out today that
Oh,
you
right,
also
yeah.
cut hair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is what I'm proposing.
We have some
I'm proposing we have a
multi-talented
cutoff.
people. A cutoff?
We have a cutoff.
All right.
No, you can't touch Gracie's beautiful hair.
Yeah, I also don't do women's hair. So
No, so you- yes.
Yeah.
What about you? You're a fairly new realtor too?
I
or?
am fairly new. I'm still in my first year. I think it's been 9 months since I've been licensed. And actually, I don't know if you remember this, but when I was interviewing brokerages, I actually interviewed with you guys. You weren't present. You had to leave for a meeting or something. I guess I just wasn't important enough.
Gatekeepers.
But, yeah, but I sat down with Andrea and Crystal. I think it must have been probably in late December, maybe early January of last year. And at the time, I think it was when you were considering perhaps expanding the team a little bit, but you weren't quite there yet. So it's pretty full circle how this all turned out. But I've been with you guys for about a month now or so. But
Yes.
But yeah, still in my first year, still learning so much every single day.
That's good.
Yeah.
A mother,
A mother, yes.
young children.
Young children.
How
yeah.
old?
8 and 2.
8.
And 2, yeah.
But how old are you?
She's
Like
still
30?
young. I'll be 35 next month.
Really?
I know.
Wow.
Genetics.
You do look young.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Like
it.
in your 20s.
I that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. I color my hair. If you knew how gray I was, you probably wouldn't say that. But
Well, you chopped off all my grays today.
that's fine. I'm happy to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think, as somebody who is a mother of young children, plus in the business just around a year, what do you think the biggest challenge is that maybe you were prepared for, but maybe they were a little bit more difficult, maybe they're easier?
Yeah, I mean, we throw the word balance around a lot, and I know we talked about it in our team meeting, actually, how really there's no such thing as like true balance, right? Like
Right.
something is always going to kind of take the lower end of the stick, right? Or the deal, whatever you want to call it. So I think for me, that's been really my biggest challenge, is because at least my second born is so young. There's so much unpredictability in my home life that I really have to make sure that I'm trying to get as much done as possible during the day, because once they're home from school, I never have a single clue about how the night's gonna go, right? So it's really just trying to figure out, okay, what are the most important things that I need to do today? How can I get them done as efficiently as possible so that I can still have my free time when they're home and still be a part of all those really big, important moments that I don't want to miss, right? Yeah, I've had a few of those moments where I've been on the phone with another agent specifically.
Yeah.
If it's a client, I try and at least put myself in a different part of the house, but there's been many conversations I've had with agents and my kids are just losing their minds in the background. I'm like, sorry, this is just, this is the way it is.
How important is a nice car in real estate,
here we
Max?
go.
You like cars,
I
Max?
do like cars, and they were purchased like way before I ever thought about getting into real estate. And I have a lot of clients and people like say things about them and like, oh, you're doing really good. I'm like, yeah, it's only my second month here. This existed way beforehand.
Wow,
But
all of that in just 2 months?
exactly.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. What made you want to get into this amazing real estate industry?
My parents, specifically my mom, was heavily invested in real estate. I think she started investing 2011, I think, before everything was priced crazy. A lot of people told her, why would you ever invest in Niagara Falls? This is just a tourist city, and here we are. And my mom's boyfriend is a contractor, so all of the talk around the house was complaining about certain tenants, which property to purchase next, mortgages.
Yeah.
And I was very familiar with those terms when I was younger. So during COVID, it only made sense for me to get my license because without it, I really didn't think I have direction in much other things I wanted to contribute to. But it seemed like the right choice at the time, and it has been. I think it just takes a lot more learning. I think in the hindsight now, with everything that you guys thrown at me, like it's all yielded an important lesson. Like they always say, like, you have to fail to succeed first. But a lot of people don't even look for that opportunity to fail. I think it's quite important that like you just get on and do your door knocks, do your calls like that, and then once 1 out of 100 actually answers you and you get converted, that's motivation. Like
I agree.
I saw a TikTok the other day, some doctor with like 1 million nice cars, and was like, asked his viewers like, what comes first, motivation or action? And then he said it's action that comes first, and then it's motivation, and then you can get all these other things done based off that one little thing you did the first day, such as making your bed and things like that. So I've taken that to, door knock one door. Okay, they've answered. That's a great start. I think just keep going.
That I've noticed about you in the last 12 months is at the beginning of the year last year, it was tough for all of us. It was a weird start to the year, January. And we were all kind of like, if this keeps up every single month, honestly, I don't know what the heck we're going to do, because it was very slow. We were trying to determine what's the best way to market and brand ourselves over the next 12 months. Is it in-person events? Is it online leads? What is it? And I know that you were struggling with that as well. But what I've noticed in just the first quarter, and certainly by the second quarter, is that you started to take off like on a massive, I think, and don't quote me, were we not talking about this? How close she is to her goal or over it.
So
She's
close.
very close to hitting your goal.
Yeah.
So, and we still have a couple months left. So what do you think was the biggest change for you in the first quarter, second quarter?
I just went all in. That was it. It was either sink or swim. I'm going to throw everything that I have at it and let the chips fall as they may. I just hustled. Like you guys said, I did the calls, I did the door knocking. I did everything I possibly could just to keep going and to keep it, just let that dream come to fruition. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we noticed it and we loved it because I just saw more authority, more confidence, more, taking things, controlling the conversations, which a lot of agents don't understand. Because as I mentioned to Serena, it is a profession, it's an advisory position. And a lot of your clientele really do need that.
They do. Yeah, I deal a lot with first-time home buyers, and then on the flip side of that, seniors who are now moving on to the next phase where they are downsizing, and they haven't bought a house in, 50 years, and then the first-time buyers have never bought a house ever, so they're kind of similar in a way. And it's just all about educating, leading with the heart as well. It's not just a business transaction. Like, these are very emotional decisions as well, and to understand that and be able to work with your clients and keep that in mind at the same time.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's important, like, you, your family, you've been in the community for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's important, for people like us to be community leaders.
Absolutely.
And you can't you can't be shady or unethical when you're a community leader.
No, you can't.
Not like you would do that anyways.
No.
But the point is that people are coming to these types of cities, Font Hill, Niagara on the Lake, St. Catharines, Welland, Waynfleet. It's these community-based lifestyle towns.
Yep.
And exactly like you said, if somebody hasn't transacted in 20, 30, 40 years, the process may be incredibly different for them.
Absolutely.
And
It used to be a
explaining-
handshake. That's what one of my clients said. I remember when I bought my first house, it was a handshake and that was it. And it's much more than that now.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, yeah, I see pictures. One person showed us their original agreement of purchase and sale, and it was just a one page.
Yep.
And I don't know, it maybe had one signature, maybe had the price, maybe a deposit. I don't think there was any terms. It's amazing how far we've come. But what is next for you? Can we expect the same trajectory, growth path for you for next year?
Absolutely. Just if you're not moving forward.
You're moving backwards, as Mr. Saravelli would say. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Scott and Ellen, our first couple, husband and wife team. I mean, who knows what's happened at Club Ravel? I don't know. I don't know if you're the first couple, but, Anyways, Club Ravel is our office after hours, just so everybody knows.
I'm told I'm happily married.
So am I.
Yeah, there's no club for him. He's asleep by 10.
I'm asleep by 9, so yeah, very similar. We're not. I'm not a night person. I used to be, but it's just not me. So you guys not only are new to the team over the last few months, but you're also new to the area.
Back to the area for myself.
For yourself, yeah.
I grew up born and raised in Port Colborne.
Yep.
And I love the area. I'm really happy to be back.
Yeah. And where'd you guys come from?
We came from Bradford. I was a realtor there for many, many years.
Yeah. And we had talked. I grew up just outside of Bradford, East Gwillimbury, so in Churchill. You know, the VI. Very special
Yeah,
place
I'm
on
sorry
Friday
to hear
nights.
that.
Right?
I wouldn't be admitting that in public, Andrew.
Pull the VI down here. So that's a good thing.
So what do you think the biggest difference that you've noticed between the two markets? Bradford, I know Bradford was once named the fastest growing town.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So I was a realtor in Bradford for 15 years, and it was a bit of a shock to come here. And honestly, it's friendlier, it's less pressure, it's happier.
It's because we have a lot of wine.
And I do think it has a lot to do with the wine. And as I say, everybody who comes to visit us wants to stay. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a community.
Yeah, I think it's.
He's the eldest realtor.
I'm kind of senile. I'm the old guy here, but I think you're right when it comes to community.
Yeah.
There's still a great sense of community
Yeah.
in this area. It's not as built up. It's not as Torontonian as Bradford
Yeah.
is, and I really appreciate that part of it.
Yeah, we have a lot more space here. How you deal with people is different. Like we've talked about on podcasts previous, is that online leads isn't necessarily the best business practice here or strategy. However, in the GTA, in the outlining areas, maybe it is. So how are you overcoming that? And how do you generate new business? You've got a lot going on. You do a lot of things. So what do you do?
Well, I'm new to the area, so I'm trying to get out there and join things. Like I will be joining a 6-week challenge next week.
Good.
Hitting one of my goals. But it's going out there and starting from scratch, because this is just starting from scratch. I don't have all my referrals because they're 2 hours away. Past business is 2 hours away, so everything is brand new. However, Scott, on the other hand, he grew up here. He has a lot of contacts. We do have family. We do have friends here in Welland and Waynfleet and Port Colborne. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's nice to have them close.
But
also
you
a
guys
referral
do a lot
system
of
too.
things, though. You have your RV group.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, my friend in Bradford started with myself a group of RV enthusiasts in Ontario. And
Which
we've
I'm a
got-
part of the group.
And Andrew,
'Cause
and
I gotta
Crystal
try.
are part of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I had to, even if I had to force you, no, I'm just teasing. There's almost 28,000 people in this group now, and I dragged Scott into it. I've also made him flip a few RVs with me as well.
I know, I saw that.
We've gotten some clients from it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So how do you get the clients?
Well, just on the one client I'm working with right now, I met him at the RV show last spring, and he was looking for a park for sale. So I connected with him, and we're looking for a park. So if you know of any RV parks out there in the Toronto area, 2 hours from Toronto, give me a call because we could buy it for you. Sorry, I'm a realtor. I'm always doing it, man.
Every opportunity to get a deal done I love it. So we're very thankful you guys are here. You bring a different energy to the team, and we like it.
If I can just. I was thinking when you guys were talking about how things have changed. I was thinking, my first house, when you're talking about how different it is, and I'm thinking, my first house, I bought my first house in probably before some of you were even flipping born, 1993. So I'm the old guy.
And just talking about how old we are and how things have changed. When I first started real estate, we didn't work on computers. We were writing in triplicate. It was literally, the form had 3 copies, and you had to press really hard on your pen. Do you guys
sounds like torture.
Never have to experience that?
I don't even know how to use a pen anymore. So.
Looking at Vanessa's face and think, oh man, they are old.
Your watch was a sundial?
I still have it, actually.
But yeah, thanks.
And Scott's older than me, just saying.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Don't worry, Gracie. We didn't forget about you. Best for last. Okay, you've got 1 minute. How long have you been on the team now?
1.5 years.
Really? Only 1.5?
I think so, yeah.
Almost 2. 2 in March. As somebody who has 100% helped with the growth of this team, what do you think the biggest changes that you saw since the day you started till now?
Our organization, for one, everybody's. I feel like the agents on the team now just try a lot harder. I feel everybody that we have is just out there to do everything they can for their clients and for the team. So both of those.
I think it's because of how you and Andrea, of course, but how you've been able to make it a more supportive environment from a marketing standpoint and a transaction standpoint.
Yeah, we try. That's the organization part. I can't organize without Andrea, and somewhat vice versa. Sometimes.
Well, since we don't have a lot of time, what would you like to see the team maybe implement or add in terms of support or any type of efforts over the next year?
I don't know. Let's double the deals that we did next year. Double the agents, double the deals. Yeah. And that. Yeah, please, everyone.
If everybody doubles their deals, we can get you guys your own assistants.
Imagine
and that's how we get more support.
Yeah.
But thank you, Gracie. You've been a massive part to the growth this year, so we really appreciate you. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's the podcast. If you've liked this podcast, please give us a 5-star review. That's how more people like you can experience the podcast. It's going to bump it up in the algorithms. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that other crap. We love you. Bye.